We're gonna call the meeting to order now. I know Corey's gonna be a minute late, but we'll just start. So it is 7:36-ish. Well, I don't know. Ish,
7:35.
35. We'll call to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Everyone, we'll go right into this. Start with our approval of minutes. Did everyone have a chance to look at the minutes from August 10th? Looked pretty good to me. Any comments, questions? No?
Yeah.
Thank you. Good. Excellent. Yep, that was a short meeting. Good. I will make a motion to approve the minutes from August. Can I get a second? Good, thank you. Rhiannon seconded. Can I ask if we all vote in favor? Anyone?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? Great, the minutes have been approved. Thank you very much. And we will jump right into our regular business, starting with the WLS report.
I really do not have anything to report because the board has met. We've been having a long recess because we worked very hard last year, so, yeah. Yeah, so our next meeting, first meeting after the recess will be next Tuesday. But in the meantime, the process for preparing the budget has already started. In fact, the budget committee is meeting this evening, or met a couple of hours ago, but I couldn't make it. But the process has started.
Thank you. President's report. I don't have much to report other than to say, welcome back to the school year, everybody. And it's nice to see everybody's all like revved up and energetic, or maybe like blindsided and deers and headlights, but either way, there's a lot of energy and I love it. And I'm gonna pass it to Tom for the director's report.
Thank you. Thank you, Whitney. I'll try to make this a brief director's report. I just want to briefly mention how busy our library was this past summer. We had great participation from all ages, children, teens, and adults, in terms of programs and our reading program. And in Elizabeth's report, she has far more details, which she'll share with you later, but it was a very successful summer. Everybody was thrilled to see the library fully in use once again, forgetting those pandemic days to some degree. And so it was really wonderful. And having reflected on the summer, here we are, and the summer is ending at the end of this day, and we are already back in kind of a school mode. And to that end, there have been a number of meet the teacher nights at many of our schools, and many of us have been participating. I was at Davis School a few nights ago. Elizabeth was at Trinity that same evening. Other library staff have been all over the city representing the library, letting people know about our wonderful public library and all the benefits that will accrue if you get a library card and take advantage of our resources. And with that, I just want to give you some updates about our grants and a few other things. Let's see. The grant program relative to the third floor renovation is sort of on hold. We're waiting to get bids back from vendors regarding the enclosure of the teen area on the third floor. Our architect worked with a consulting engineer and put together a bid document. It's gone out to vendors. We're anxious to see the results. We're anxious to get moving, because once that project begins and is completed, then we can essentially finish the third floor project. We will create 2 more sort of mini conference rooms there. And so we're almost done. We're almost at the finish line. And the space upstairs looks great. I have to commend Kira and the adult services staff When these sorts of projects happen, we really take the opportunity to rethink how we sort and organize our collections, et cetera. And we've been doing a lot of shifting and moving collections to make it more sensible and reasonable for our patrons. And so if you do go upstairs, you'll see things in different locations than they had been before, but for all good reasons. Let's see what else. Our fire stopping and safety project is moving forward. It has finally started. We cleared the barricade of getting all these city permits in place, and no small feat, I have to say. It took a while, but everything is in place. Our vendors are working in the building. There has been very little disruption to date. They're very familiar with working in this environment. They've worked in some libraries, but many schools and many hospitals and medical facilities, so they get it. They can work around us without interfering with our staff, our patrons, and the work that they're involved in. So that's good news. Really exciting news that I shared with you yesterday was that the grants that you folks approved just about a month ago have been preliminarily approved, which is exciting. So here at the main library, the second and final phase of the noise abatement project will hopefully move forward with the WS board meeting next week. Tuesday, Tuesday, where Francis will vote yay. Yeah, okay, we'll have to lobby you.
It takes a bit of loving.
I'll buy you a glass of.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, oh, God. Well, then you buy me a glass of water.
Right.
All right, I'm joking. But anyway, so that project was approved, and I have to thank Kieran, Elizabeth, and Jean. They all worked really hard in getting it together. And the second half of that project, I should say, once the noise abatement is one half of the whole, the other half is signage, wayfinding, which we desperately need here. Now that quite a lot of our interior has been redone, we need to come up with a cohesive, uniform system that will inform people what's what and where. And so all to be decided once this grant hopefully receives approval sometime next June or July. So that's good news. The other half of the good news for our effort was the HEL project was approved too. Both grants fully, and that will allow us to upgrade both bathrooms at the Huguenot Children's Library, which needed. They are well used and well loved and more than a little tired. So we'll be able to do some ADA improvements, change some finishes, do some other positive things like better ventilation, better lighting. So it'll be a good project. So I'll keep you posted as we move forward with that. Our ARPA grant is still on hold. City Council has to meet to decide regarding the final applications. We're trying to be hopeful. It's been a very competitive process. So we'll see. ARPA too. Yeah, City Council will be meeting, I think, in the next week or two. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for that. We know that it would be a worthwhile project. It was funny. I was reminded of it this morning, sitting in my office, and I heard this music. Where is that coming from? Can't be the parking lot. I hope it's not the parking lot. It wasn't. We were having a children's program, preschool program in the Alphabet Garden with an entertainer. She was really good, and there had to be over 40 people. Families all together in that space. And it just pointed out to me that if we're lucky enough to be able to create something, install it in that space, I think it'll be a space that'll be well loved and used. So there's that. Just as a final element in terms of our interior office renovation, the adult services office renovation is complete. I don't know if you remember, if you'd ever been in there before, it's a big difference. It looks great. And thanks to Karen and the staff that worked on it. Our custodians, I just have to say, our custodians love our project. They're really good at this sort of thing. And they worked with all the vendors to make the space more functional and efficient and, attractive. We're now kind of working on the Friends office. It's not a significant project, but there is some things that need to be done, and we have some grant money to work on finishing that as well. And it's done here, folks. You saw in my email that the trustee handbook book club for 2023 is back and in session, and we have two what I think are really important programs coming up on October 17th: Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, Access and Justice, DEI, really important. So you might want to sign up for that. And the next one, another one that's relevant to our lives, financing and managing construction projects, and that'll be December 19th. So you can register, no cost, and if you do participate, those credits will go towards your continuing ed requirement that is now in place. Friends of the New Rochelle Public Library, things continue to go as they have gone. Amy and her team of volunteers work really hard to manage all the donations that come in. They still are only accepting 2 small bags or boxes per person. The next Friends Board meeting is in October. No date yet, but when I find out, I'll send it out. And if you folks would like to attend, you're more than welcome to do so. It's usually on a Tuesday or Thursday around 1 o'clock. So if you're free. The foundation had its first meeting of the year canceled because of people being ill or being away, but it has been rescheduled to October 24th here in our meeting room right behind us. And it will be 7:30, and I invite everybody to attend if you have a free moment. So that's that. And that is it for my director's report. Oh, one final thing. I'm sorry. And this is a program that I think is really worth talking about, and Rhiannon may mention it too as well. But David Rose, our wonderful archivist, who has been working at an amazing rate to organize our extensive historical collections, has done so much, and he's working towards completing our photograph and negative collection, which is incredible. I think we've got 80 archival boxes, and David is just working hard, and he wants to highlight that. We want to highlight that because it's an asset that people really don't know about. And on October 28th, a Saturday at 3 o'clock in person, David will be presenting a program that will have wonderful illustrations, and as he describes it, will showcase the most evocative, unusual, and surprising photographs in our photography collection in our archives. From a collection of nearly 15,000 images, selection 175 photos that will document the social history, everyday life, and built environment of New Rochelle in the 20th century. So I think it could be a really kind of cool, interesting.
Does that sound cool?
And there are some great photos that we have. So that's it. I'm done.
Thank you, Tom. Any questions or thoughts so
No,
far?
Great.
Great. Do you want to talk about personnel report?
Sure. I have just 2 actions to take. One is I'm asking for your approval for our employment for a temporary full-time custodian. The young man's name is Joseph Cinquamani. His salary is $23.44 per hour. His start date was September 5th, 2023, and he is filling in for one of our custodians whose partner had a baby. So our custodian is taking paternity leave, a very cute baby, and so we needed somebody to fill in the gap, and this young man seems to be doing the job. So I would ask for 6 weeks, which is right, paternity leave per our contract.
Good. I can make a motion that we approve the hiring of the temporary full-time custodian. His name is Joseph Cinquamani. And from September 5th for 6 weeks. Can I get a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great. So thank you to Joseph for filling in for our custodian, Al.
Al, he's the guy.
Yes.
Really, very cute little boy. It's nice. We brought him in for the first time
Ah.
yesterday. There was not a lot of work going on as he made his way. It was a nice distraction. And also on a sort of a happy, bittersweet note, one of our full-time employees who had been with us probably upwards of 14 years, retired, very happily to looking at new things to do in her future. Her name is Rita Calandresa, and she had worked at the circulation desk for many years and then moved into tech processing. And she also did circulation work too on an as-needed basis. And Rita, her last day of employment with us was August 31st of this year, and her final salary was $51,678. And I would ask for a motion to approve that. And just want to say Rita was a great asset to our library. She had great customer service skills. And when she was hired, she was one of a new wave of people who were bilingual. She spoke Spanish, and she loved to work with all our residents and users, but she especially connected with our Spanish-speaking population. It is great.
Thank you. Does anyone else want to make a motion tonight? If not, I will make a motion. Did you want to? No?
I'll let you do it.
Okay, then I would love to make a motion to approve the retirement of Rita Calandresa as of August 31st. May I get a second, please? Thank you, Tatiana. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? No. Well, we wish the best of luck to Rita and thank her from the board and for all of her.
Will somebody be replacing Rita?
Yes, actually, we are in the process of, we posted the position. We had lots of candidates, which was great. And our head of tech services and our head of circulation, who are the two immediate supervisors, are working through the process of the applications. I think they're putting together an interview pool, and hopefully we'll have a candidate on board in probably maybe late October, early November. We have a few internal candidates who look good, but we also have some people that are coming from the outside who also have some skills to consider. We are also, just as a by the by, looking to fill our new position, the children's librarian one position. Was a little disappointing because the position was created. We posted it through civil service, but we all sort of went to our various sort of job placement resources in the state. You know, the New York job line and the NILA job line in Westchester Library. We had a very small pool of candidates, so we're going to reopen it because we just want an opportunity to have a group, and so for more options to consider. So that position is hopefully will be posted by civil service once again in the near future. We're looking for a part-time circulation.
Are you trying to replace, are there other people who are bilingual, or are you looking for
Always.
somebody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we've had really good success by finding bilingual candidates whenever possible. We want somebody who can speak both English and Spanish because we have lots of people who are speaking both of those languages.
Thank you, Tom. Elizabeth, please. Our assistant director's report.
Thank you. So I will recap the summer and use one word, which is wonderful. Really. So what we saw an increase in all aspects of our library service. So we saw a 35% increase in summer reading club registrations from last year. So we went from 607 to 823 registrations. So that's a remarkable jump. We saw a 10% increase in program attendance from last year's summer reading programs to this year's. We also saw an increase in the number of minutes read by children. So in 2022, it was 152,000. This year, it was 157,641. So really proud of those kids. Next year, we have actually started talking about next year's summer reading club and thinking about what improvements we can make and how we can engage kids a lot more. The teens are not far behind as well. The teens, we saw over 140% increase in teen participation. We went from 34 registrants last year to 83 this year. And it's been incredible. And I think the secret of their success is really to make the teen space just a really fun, relaxed environment, because I think in talking to kids, the teens that are coming to programs and visiting the space, they're not looking to be bogged down by the academics and the learning. They just want a place where they can just chill. I just want to like relax and have fun. And I think that we are providing that space, and the kids are really responding to our programs. In terms of program attendance and patron engagement, I can report there are increases across those lines as well. So in terms of our materials checkout, we saw a 10% increase this year. That includes books and DVDs and all the physical materials. In terms of transactional activities and all of our public and information desks, we saw an 8% increase. So going from about 70,000 last year to about 75,000 this year. So really, these numbers are really proving not just kind of this observational data in terms of activity. We also have the numbers to prove it. Our digital materials checkout also increased by 20%. And last but not least, our program attendance increased by 60%. So really, really powerful. We are going to be venturing into the author and book space on October 3rd for Hispanic Heritage Month. We are hosting Ernesto Mestre Reed, who is the author of Sacrificio. Ernesto is a teacher of fiction at Brooklyn College, spoken worldwide, including Miami Book Fair. His book Sacrificio was really well reviewed by Kirkus and New York Times. He is going to be here on October 3rd at 7 o'clock. I will be moderating a conversation with him. So please come, please tell your friends about it. This is like my first time trying to do a program here, and I'm really trying to drum up a great audience so that like my publisher friends will let us have more authors. And it's all free, yes. And we will have the Humble Bumble Books will be here to sell books. And at 6:30, we're going to do a meet and greet with the author and
Get your book signed.
get your book signed and have some coffee and some cookies. So please come.
Elizabeth, could you talk about some of our wonderful new electronic resources that we're offering, the shelf and our.
Right, yeah. So I
Medici.
mentioned, right, so I mentioned the shelf at our last board meeting. The shelf is well, I guess we could kind of reduce it to, or not, it's Netflix for Spanish language content. So it's got movies and telenovelas, documentaries. We have been seeing increase in access and the number of users. When I was at Trinity this past week, I sold it to like everybody I met. I mean, really, and then some. The other one we have is Peterson's. It's a test and civil service exam preparation guide, and we're really seeing people at civil service exams start to like now come into play. It's a really great source to prepare for those exams. We also have a product called Medici, which is just access to classical music and jazz music, concerts and recitals and performances. So those are three things that we are adding
And
this year.
languages too.
Right, and transparent is a great way to learn a new language. And the great thing about transparent, it's not just about learning a new language. There is an English as this other language component as well. So if you're learning English, it's a great way for you to continue that.
At today's, and Francis was there, as was I at our county directors meeting, mention was made of both the shelf and Medici. And the county is definitely taking on Medici countywide to make it available. So we'll be off financially, which is never a bad thing.
Right.
And Elizabeth, you probably know that the county is, they're looking at the shelf
Right,
well
yes.
as a product that will be made available to all our residents rather than just New Rochelle residents. And I think the shelf is an exciting product because it's in Spanish, but there are English elements too that could be used. So it's worth everybody looking at,
And-
not
and-
just our Spanish.
And for us right now, we only offer the adult component in Shelf, but Shelf is for multi-users and they have something for children, they have music, they've got, unfortunately, our budget was so constricted that we could not get all the other parts of it, but hopefully if WLS picks it up, then we'll get the entire package.
It's a great product. Thank you.
I have a question about
Yes.
your internet. Is that something that's on, so you log onto your computer or onto the website?
Onto library's website, then you find the link or you can download the app and then put in all of the library login credentials.
Two questions. One, Elizabeth, did you find that there was an uptick in terms of either teens or adults or any participants this summer because of the weather? Did you see any kind of?
Right, yes,
rise?
that's a really
trend?
interesting question that you brought up because as we know that this summer, the weather patterns were completely erratic. I think that could be possibly a part of it because it was hot and for most people, there are not a lot of green spaces to go to or activities. And I think that that's part of it. And it's very interesting because some of our most popular teen programs actually took place in that children's garden, if you will.
Ah,
So I think, sort of taking programming outside of like closed spaces,
yeah.
I think had a big impact.
Yeah, okay. And the second question is for the October 3rd event, do we have at the library, like the simulcast translation? So because it's a Spanish speaking author.
Yes,
right?
but the
And-
program is all in English.
Okay,
right?
but so there's no translator. What if somebody comes who might, do we
Right,
have
but
that?
the thing is, the author wrote the book in English.
Oh,
And
okay,
it,
well
I
then,
mean, yeah, the
there we go.
book is in English and
Don't worry about it.
he writes, yeah.
Okay,
You know, I should say, and that's a good question, Lucille. We do have access to a translation service in the city
because
who has,
they
they
do
were-
it for Board of Ed meetings. I know
right.
that.
We hired them when we were doing our strategic plan, recall, and I've worked with them after, and they are wonderful. They are always available to assist us and not always for a fee.
Mhm.
They're very community minded and they see the library as an important part of, the population being served. So if there are things that you want, Elizabeth, or,
Right. Right.
our other staff, we
Mhm.
probably could engineer something.
Right, yeah, but this program is.
Yeah.
all in
And
English.
I just want to mention relative to the issue of our weather and the erratic nature, the heat. At one point, Whitney was contacted by Adam Salgado and regarding the fact that he was quite concerned about having places that people could find refuge in hot weather. And the library did step up. We opened and
Mhm.
stayed open.
Right, it
more
was a set,
hours.
right,
And so I think that's worth mentioning that when there are those moments in time when the weather is unbearable, the library is a cooling spot and we are available during our regular hours, but we can also, the staff was very cooperative
yes,
at an 11th hour kind of.
right. It was that weekend where a lot of people lost power,
Right,
so, yeah,
yeah.
right.
I would
Thank
also,
you. Yeah, no, go ahead.
I just wanted to bring, I don't want to put you on the spot, Fela, but you had mentioned the climate, that the online seminar that you had, there was the part 2, I think was yesterday.
Yeah.
There was one yesterday too, that was like new.
That one is the trauma based one.
But there wasn't there like a climate and sustainability? That's right now.
Ready, Michelle, that's right.
Yeah.
Mm.
We're started at 7.
Oh, there's next week, there's
There's another one,
Sustainable
too.
Westchester
that's
is
right.
doing trivia night,
Oh,
which
here?
no, not here. It's
oh.
gonna be at Ward 18, which I was
Oh.
planning on going to.
Oh.
I can sit, yeah.
Well, it's in the zeitgeist is all about libraries as, these kinds of beacons of, refuge and just, kind of being on the cutting edge of thinking about how anchor institutions can serve as, sources of information and
Mhm.
places to come and, thinking really, really strategically about that. More and more that's becoming, not just like a sideline or a byline, it's like becoming the headline. So thank you.
So, yeah, I mean,
Thank
just
you.
to add to that, Whitney, we are doing a climate disaster workshop. I believe it's next week. So in addition to sort of helping people prepare for climate disasters, we're also having several sort of sustainability climate organizations in New Rochelle sort of come table, sort of outreach. So in addition, so for example, Climate New Rochelle will be there to talk about what they do and how people, I believe it's it's September. No, it's the third. It's one Tuesday next week.
Okay.
That's good.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's-
September the 26th.
yes,
Tuesday,
September
next
20th.
week.
Tuesday, New York State Citizen Preparedness Workshop.
And where is it?
It's right here in the auditorium.
Oh,
And, between 6 and 7.
Right.
And I think that was initiated by WLS Francis. Terry Kirshner asked if we could host that, and of course we said yes, so we are trying to be available for those issues whenever possible.
Thank
Great.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I love
Elizabeth.
Your good news.
Yeah.
Great.
That's excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. Anyone have any other thoughts or questions? Then we can move to committee reports. Who's in charge of budget committee right now? No, it's not me. I was. I think
Is it me?
It is budget and finance. Yes, Cory. So, yeah. No, the budget committee won't start meeting until probably June. So a couple more months of that. Buildings and grounds is me and that, it's Lucille and Salah on that committee with me. Be prepared because we will be calling a meeting pretty soon before the October meeting to talk about a number of things, not least of which is make sure both of you please have signed up if you can, the December 19th, the trustee handbook about financing a construction project. That's gonna be really interesting, I think, for us as a group, especially those of us who have been through the audit process and looking into our building, but I think as many of us who can attend that as possible would be good, but particularly the buildings and grounds committee.
No,
Zoom.
it's,
They're all
yeah.
Zoom. Yeah, there's like 8 people.
Usually from 5 to 6:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Community relations. Yeah.
Who's on there with me now? Fala and
And Beth.
Beth. So we'll meet and, because we haven't met yet, but we'll make sure that we get together and talk about how we could be even more helpful. So I'm just reporting, the great activities that I, received from staff. Two sections. One is the Help and Learning Center that has an incredible busy month in September. I mean, every month is busy, but September, I think the action's really picking up and they're providing just this whole host of great services to our residents, like job search and using devices and setting up email accounts and everything that you could possibly imagine the help centers here. A few upcoming classes and events that they're offering. Am I close enough for this? The job readiness coach, Rebecca, is here every Tuesday evening and can help with job applications and writing resumes and practicing interview skills, things like that, from 5 to 7:45. Notary nights I know are quite popular. And it's actually, I had something I need to notarize. I should have brought it. That was tonight. Dang it. You're notary? Oh, good to know. Okay. I have to get my kids' passports and my husband can't come. All right. So notary nights every third Tuesday of the month at 6 o'clock. So it was tonight, then it's again October 19th, what did I say? Tuesday? Thursday. Thursday.
Third Thursday.
Every third Thursday of the month at 6 o'clock. So October 19th, November 16th, and December 21st will be the next dates for that. Civic and citizenship classes. Those are 2-hour classes on, not every Saturday, but the next one is actually this coming Saturday from 1 to 3. It's on the second floor. And there are digital learning classes, which include internet basics, computer basics, cybersecurity. It's in the English dates are on September 26th and October 3rd, the upcoming one, and the Spanish classes are on Thursdays. The upcoming dates are on September 28th and October 5th from 6 to 7:30. So that's the Help and Learning Center. The report I got from the marketing and community outreach team is several pages long again, because Tom and Elizabeth already spoke to the incredibly busy and successful summer. So I don't have to repeat what they said, but it's just when you look at the list of programs that they offer for kids to kind of fill that void of not being able to go to school and fill the days with enriching activities, it's really so impressive. A few programs or events stand out where they just had hundreds of people attending. The bubble bus and the touch a truck, hundreds of people. And I was here not this past Monday, but the Monday before, right when the Rhodes Piano Workshop ended. And because I was here for the book club that I'll talk about in a minute, and a couple kids walked out and said, "Oh, I wish this could be every day." So it's all kids with little keyboards, and it sounded good. And so that's the piano workshops are the 6 weeks of that, group instructions for kids age 5 to 11. And I think the class is still.
Does it say?
No, it doesn't say. Who's teaching that? Yeah.
Is it Zev?
No. Oh.
He does teach that piano because he did, my son learned from him at one point, but I wasn't sure. And he does the Rhodes specifically, so
Could have been
Yeah.
him.
I think so.
I didn't see the instructor. I saw the kids. I'm like,
That's great.
"Oh,
I love that
this
they love
every
it so
day."
much.
Yeah.
Every day. Who says that about piano
A-
lessons?
And I mean, and those were 2 kids who were, between 5 and 7.
Yeah.
I think they were like 9,
Oh.
if I had to guess. So I thought it was just great. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's filled to capacity, it says. So it's just the whole range of what this library offers is just mind blowing. So a few upcoming things. There is an art workshop, scratch art, on September 22nd. There is a citizens prepared workshop. That's the one you just spoke about, I think, right? And there's a knitting club that starts in late September. There's one offered for teens and one for adults. And if it's as popular as the sewing workshop, then I'm sure it's going to be a great success. Because I know that
When will it be?
it begins in late September. There are no dates on here yet. Do you know what the dates are for that?
For the knitting?
For
Yeah.
the knitting.
Yes, the 29th. It's Fridays from 10 a.m. to noon.
For
it
adults,
starts-
probably.
Yes, it starts on the 20th. Yes, it's
Yeah.
not the teen one.
Yeah.
So on the, exactly. On the
Skipping
29th
school to knit.
is the next one.
Can't be mad at that, kind of.
You can't.
And then for the kids, when is it?
The teen one, I don't.
You
have
don't
the dates
see?
on- Wait, I might, hold on.
All right, while you're looking that, I'll just finish my report. So the library is fantastic at reaching out to all the other organizations that exist in the community and partner on and all kinds of things that are already going on to help promote the library and just, inform people of what the library has to offer. And you mentioned some of it already, including the teachers' nights, which are the back to school nights, which is great. I know they were at the street fair. I saw them at the street fair, which was monsoon day. Thankfully, yes, thankfully it let up at some point. But by the time I came, you had pretty good traffic. So, yeah, after the monsoon ended, so that's good. Yeah. I know that yesterday for voter registration day, the League of Women Voters was here in the lobby and signed up some people, registered them to vote. And there's a great ongoing collaboration with Healthy Yards in New Rochelle. And there will be a virtual program on invasive plants. That's planned for October 24th. I don't have a time on that yet. So that's my report. Did you find the teen knitting club time? All right, we will update on that
Yeah,
on
thank
at the
you.
next meeting.
My daughter just crocheted 3 pumpkins for her Halloween decorations in her room, and so I'm like looking for that.
Maybe she needs to teach a crocheting
Yes.
workshop next.
I don't know how she does it. She's like a little machine. I love that, actually.
I would like to say the bubbles scared the hell out of me. Because I was driving up Huguenot, and I'm like, thinking it's the end of the world. That's why.
It was a
Because
lot
I
of
didn't know
bubbles.
where it was coming from, and it was like going like down
so-
past Chase and by the K building, it just was like going all over, and then I went, oh, thank God.
That's the bubble bus.
But it was like literally spreading across downtown, those bubbles.
That's cool. That's fun.
And that
And
was, a-
people were.
Oh,
and that was a reason.
When the bus, they were like.
so cute.
It was ironic, because that was a rescheduled, program because the weather was.
Yeah.
not very
Oh,
nice. And they had over 300 people. and it was
Wow.
August 21st.
Yeah,
Mm.
24th.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Even the people like-
no, it really doesn't.
Yep.
And I have a date for the teen knitting club. It's Thursday, September the 28th from 4 to 5 p.m.
All right, Thursday, they have it.
after school.
From what, 4 to 5?
4 to 5.
It's worth mentioning our sewing program was funded by a local foundation. We just received the check for it this year, so it's
Oh,
not
they're-
being funded by us. it's-
They re-upped the
They
funding.
re-up.
Oh, that's
Oh,
great.
We have, it's 3 years.
It's a 3-year,
So we're
okay,
Year number 2. So-
okay.
So, it just is, it's been
Yeah.
for everybody, adults and teens and children. The next big step for that program, which we're a little anxious about, is loaning some sewing machines.
Right.
So we're gonna do it.
Excellent, good, thank you, Rhiannon, thank you a lot for supplementing the information online, it's really good. Good. Very snappy information there. Finance Committee, I think is Tatiana in the thing right now. The Nominations Committee doesn't need to be on here anymore. Thank you. Personnel Committee?
Nothing to report right now.
No. Policy Committee is
That's me.
Stella.
Nothing to report right now, but we will be meeting soon. We have to do some work, yes.
Excellent,
So
good.
that-
And Special Projects, Beth? Nothing right now. Good. We have no public discussion. It's just our library family here tonight. So that's cute. Lovely to see everybody. It feels like it's been longer than it has. I don't know why, but I'm
This
very.
last time was so short, I
I've been
think.
thinking about
Maybe,
Yeah.
it was a short and hot. Like it should take place. The next meeting will be the October 12th, I think. October 12th.
Yeah, it's on the 12th.
The 12th. So we'll see you in a few short weeks again. So with that, anyone have any thoughts, comments? Then I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Can I get a second? Second. Okay. Corey? All in favor?
Hi.
Any opposed? Abstain. Okay,
Francis
good.
wants to stay.
No.
Thank you.
Thank
Francis, please don't
you.
speak About whatever.